to the studio. I was in a camper.
Whatever their
They're making like 70, these sales guys are making 70 grand. I'm like,
the rate for my reps who have to use Salesforce. Yeah, they're just like,
Fantastic.
I'm out in the field.
Maybe, I don't know,
I don't want to do all this stuff that
I'll let you sit down. I wanted to just catch up on,
there. At least, yeah. Yeah. But it's fun, it's a great community. I love farmers, I love organic, I love the farmers market, the Prairie Building.
Get started. Thank you all for coming to the Salesforce Data Analytics Meetup. My name is David Hecht, I'm the host, and I'm a Salesforce ISV of a couple of applications, CloudAmp, Marketing Analytics app. My main business, a company called App Frontier, which makes recurring billing and payment processing app called Chargent. So that's me. Do this last 3 years, every other month. Next one's in August, the end of August, August 25th, I believe. So I want to thank Apttus for sponsoring this event. We've got a great turnout here, and thank you for Geekdom to hosting all of us here yet again. And, yeah. So without further ado, introduce Alex Toussaint, the Senior Director of Product Management for Wave at Salesforce.
Yeah. Don't let the French last name fool you. I'm not French, I'm actually Brazilian. So it's okay. I see some French audience here. No pun intended.
Before you dive
Yes,
in.
yes, please.
So I'm Elliott, and I just want to let you know that Alex is going to show us a number of things that are really cool about Wave and the things that they're working on. And then I'm going to show you a number of applications that are built on Wave from an Apttus perspective. But during that time, we're going to have more food delivered in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So that's important. And the other thing, aside from that, means the fries are done.
Fire alarm.
Doesn't mean the fries are done. The other thing is that we have a giveaway this evening, and so if you put your name, your business card in the little glass box that's floating around, we're actually going to draw a name at the end, and there's a really cool prize. Is Heather in the room?
Jam box.
Jam box.
A jam box that we'll give out at the end. You have to be here.
You have to be here, but you can win a jam box. It's different than the jelly box that we gave away last time. It's the jam box. So that's all I wanted to say at this point, Alex.
Right, thank you.
Sure.
All right, how many of you guys here are like admins? Okay, good number. How many of you are developers? Okay, a lot of you. So I've been with Salesforce for about 7 years now. If you work with our REST API, Streaming API, some of the latest software stuff, I had the chance to work on that, so love to get your feedback later. In the past year and a half, I moved to analytics, and we're trying to get platform capabilities added to that as well. So I'm going to give you a quick introduction here on that. How many of you attended Dreamforce last year, saw the launch of Analytics Cloud? So probably want to make sure that you're not bored, so I'll go through that fast. And then we're going to dive into some of the capabilities of Wave as far as platform goes, as far as maybe building apps. And I saw somebody with a camera here. I'm getting scared. Hopefully it's going to turn out good on this video. So Safe Harbor, everything we're talking about here, there could be some forward-thinking statements. I'll make sure to highlight that for you guys. And anyway, so one of the main things for us, as you've probably seen, is that more and more we're getting this explosion of data, right? So the solutions that we had like 5, 10 years ago to deal with data, BI, and analytics, they have to change and they have to evolve, right? When we think about Analytics Cloud, the approach we took with that was instead of starting from the sort of a data scientist and work our way to the front to the business user, we decided to start with the business user and work our way backwards, right? So one of the best ways to talk about Analytics Cloud is actually using it. How many of you actually have an iPhone? Okay, a lot of you. We are going to come out with the Android version soon, so we're working on that. But in the meantime, how many of you have Analytics Cloud installed? Okay, 5. So let me walk you through downloading that, because you can get that right now. If everything fails, I want to make sure that you get access to the app, because it's free and it has some sample data that you can actually play with it. So as I'm doing the demo here, you can actually start playing with this, and you can become a data analyst, data scientist, show off that to the business users tomorrow. How about that, right? So if you go here to the App Store, and you can see all my purchases here. Hold on. Let's go here, Analytics Cloud. And we actually have a Wi-Fi, so actually I have to get out of this mode here. Let's see. Oops, you can see all my email as well. Exciting. Let's come back. Come on, try again. There you go. So you can see here, Salesforce Analytics. It's kind of, maybe, I don't know if we can dim the light a little bit around here, Mr. Organizer, but we can try that later.
His name is David.
David. Okay, if we can dim the light a little bit, that'll be cool. But anyway, so you can download it, take a few seconds. I can show you here the reviews. I think most people actually like the app. So we're not going to blow up your iPhone, you know. We got a few competitors that complain, but you know, look at that. I hate Salesforce, but this one was good. Or look, it works. Any question, any time.
Good marketing.
Awesome. Pretty, but you know, not too great. Fantastic. So anyway, I didn't post that. Other people did it. And so again, try to download it, and you can actually follow along. Some of the things to keep in mind, you can run Salesforce Analytics either connected to an org or disconnected, okay? So if you download that, it's going to take a few seconds. I'm going to go ahead and open mine. I'll give you a quick tour, okay? As soon as you get this installed, and I hope you guys can see this okay. If you come here on the left side, you're going to see that we have a playground. Playground has 4 projects with built-in data that you can start playing with that, okay? You can also connect that to a real org if you want to. So you go down here, you see I have an org on CS7. I could connect that and have live data coming down the pipe and looking at that, okay? I'm going to go back to the playground here, and the first one I'm going to kind of walk you through is Analytics for Sales. So the idea here is a lot of the data that we have on the CRM side, the service side, the marketing side, we can very quickly bring that into Wave. Okay, we have built-in connectors for that, so it's very fast. But if you're not using any of our other clouds, you can still use Wave with some of your existing data. So you can use ETL to upload the data to us, or CSV. So if you never used Salesforce before, but you're looking for analytics in the cloud, you can use Wave for that. Okay? So what we try to do here is imagine I am a manager of a car dealership here in the Bay Area, okay? And I want to see what's going on with my business. And I'm walking the floor, I'm looking at my inventory, I'm seeing what's going on. Unlikely, I'm going to try to be doing some statistics, regression analysis with my iPhone, right? Or my Android. But you do want to see all your sales data, you want to see your KPIs very fast, very quickly, okay? So the idea here is that you have very target controls for the business user. So you have here some of your data sets. You have the lenses, which the visualization components, and you have the different dashboards. And you can think of analytics as you can quickly glance at the data in the dashboard. So for instance, I'll open this guy here. We'll see some dashboards with some different KPIs, okay? But you can also do exploration, right? So a lot of the data you can get to it very quickly. So like for instance, closed one, okay, 33 million, great. Here's my pipeline, very interesting. I can click on the different keys here and everything kind of updates, which is kind of cool. But as you start to use the product, you can start to do some exploration, right? So for instance, you can start clicking around here, dive into this guy. You see here in the bottom, we have the explore key on the left side. So we have a, oh, hold on a second, let me make sure we can see this better here. Oops, how do I move this up? You cannot see the keys. Let's see if I can. Wow, look at that. I'm learning something new here. So essentially, you have the ability to take an action. You have the ability to change the visualization. You can do filters. You can do different groupings. And you can switch some of the measures. Okay? So let me look at this in a little different way. Let's look at that in a more bar chart. And let's say, okay, I'm looking at the different sales numbers. Let me try to maybe organize this so I can see the quarters that I did the best, so I can see the data that way. If I find something that at this point that got my attention, that maybe I want to share, collaborate with somebody, you can do that straight from here. So you can take an action, and maybe I'll take a snapshot. Okay, share a snapshot, and maybe I'll send an email. And at this point, you can do some annotations. So the idea is you can get to BI, analytical data very quickly and collaborate. Okay. So, and everything that you're seeing here is powered by the Wave API that I'm going to show you in a little bit. The same for the browser-based client. I focus on the mobile because I think that's a big differentiator for us. And because you can actually download that now and start playing with the data. So let's go ahead and cancel that out. So we have a few other projects here. And in the future, you can also upload your own projects and create your own sort of dashboards and so forth. So let me leave this at that. Get back to the app here. I'm getting really good at this switching game here. And back to this guy. Let's see. Okay. So the big thing for us when we start building Analytics Cloud in the beginning, first of all, we want to give that to everybody. How many of you worked in a BI project before? A lot of you, right? Did you end up giving access of the reports that you created or the dashboards to the whole company or to a small set of VPs or general managers? A small set, right? And maybe because it was hard to filter the data, or maybe the access control, the way to implement that was, whatever, or maybe the organization wasn't ready to share the data, right? So we think that we want to give you enough capability that if you decide to give that away to everybody, you can do that. So all the data that we get from Salesforce, we respect all the access control from Salesforce, and we'll filter the data on the fly. So if you're connected with our mobile app and you're getting the data, you're seeing the KPIs and so forth, we filter that so you only see the data you're allowed to see. Okay? We took the mobile-first philosophy because that's where we do business today. A lot of the business users, that's what they use. And we took the platform approach, we want everything to be API first. And we are actually happy to announce that we actually have the pilot of the API coming out. And we'll be able to share more with that with you today here in just a second. In terms of what's behind the scenes, right? So everything that we have is in the same logical, the same physical location as the rest of our clouds. Okay? So it's really deep in the data center, very secure. We have all the eye scanning, lions, everything you can imagine to protect this thing. It's there the same way for this cloud. Okay? We have three main components. We have the visualization elements, some of the things that you saw here. We have sort of the kind of query engine search base. This is a columnar index, inverted index thing. It's not Oracle based. It's totally disconnected from SQL, okay, which allows us to be very, very fast. And our limits are about 10x of the traditional SQL. That's one of the things that got me excited to move to this group, is that we could really blow the limits from our traditional APIs coming here. And that was very exciting to me. And finally, because we're in the cloud, we can scale very easily. And from a traditional perspective, you're not putting out the servers, all the good stuff that you already know. So from a traditional project standpoint, we think that things will move a little faster, and you'll be able to get to value and use BI and deploy that in the enterprise with ease. In terms of customers, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but we launched with GE last year. They deployed this for GE Financial to some of their sales folks to see their pipeline. Akamai took more of the service route. They have their service agents look at the performance of the metrics of their service for each of the accounts. So when they get on the phone with you or they visit you, they can see how you're doing with their service. They can share that with you. We also got EMC implemented the whole pipeline, so you can see that through Wave. And just a month ago, we launched our first app on top of Wave, right? So you can get the Analytics Cloud Wave, build dashboards, build apps, Or starting in June, we actually have our first Sales Wave app that is a collection of dashboards focused on CRM, focused on sales, right? So instead of getting Analytics Cloud and have to build the dashboards, out of the box, you have a bunch of those things stitched together for you, right? So it's much faster that way. And we got lots of partners, working with Apttus here, several other ones. Just met somebody here from a predictive analytics standpoint. We encourage people to reach out, and we want to be able to integrate with you and open our labs to you. So, and now I'm going to maybe get to the more interesting part, which is very close to me, and is really how we're building out the Wave platform, how we're opening that up so people can take advantage of that if they want to, okay? So when we think about the platform, it's kind of this catch-22. We want to have more apps, and with more apps, we're going to get more users, but we got to open that up and push that out. So what you're going to start to see more and more, besides the services that Wave provide, is this box here is going to get bigger and bigger, right? So my goal is everything they're able to do with the mobile phone here, we want to expose that in API services. And right now it's a REST API. It's on pilot. We're starting to document that, and we call it the Wave API. The summer release already includes that. We're doing the work to enable the dev orgs. Typically, on my old job, every time we had a new API, we do a small pilot, and then we kind of go wholesale and put out 200,000 orgs, dev orgs, enable, boom. With Wave, it's not quite like that. This is a newer cloud, so we're kind of being very pragmatic, if we will, on how we push that stuff out, okay? But if you need access, if you're a developer, you want to play with that, come and see me after this. I'll get your email. I'll give you an instance. You can start playing with that. And by the way, you're the first crowd in America to see this presentation. So you're the guinea pig. So you can tell me if you like it or not. And this is almost like a mini warm-up to Dreamforce, if you will. So anyway, so if you have an org, it's enabled. Follow the REST API pattern. It's going to be /Wave. And you're going to have access to our query engine, the dashboards, all the constructs that Wave offers is going to be exposed in there. And you can get to our documentation now. We try to give you a walkthrough how to do authentication, how to do some of the queries, how to get going with it. And we're starting to see some good traffic. Again, we're not doing the billion hits a day with some of my old services, but this is the start. So here you can see a little bit of typical day, typical week of Wave API calls. So on average, we're doing about 1.2 million hits a day, so it's not too bad. We kind of give the demo a little bit, and the thing that I want to maybe try to encourage you is to think about Wave not only as a pretty face with the dashboards, but as an analytical service that you can build apps from, okay? So you can build the dashboard and lenses. You can also create the concept of a template. So a template is the idea that you have your dashboards connected to our template engine that allows people to fill in some questions, and we'll populate the dashboards for you, okay? And then finally, we have the APIs that allow you to essentially either extend what we have or create something totally new, okay? And when I first told this to the guys in the office, they're like, what are they going to do? Why people need, BI API services? And I said, well, wait and see. We've done this with the streaming API. People didn't think we needed it, and we have over 10,000 customers, right? People didn't think we needed a large bulk API to large amount of data. We have over, I think, 12,000 customers using that. So it's a little bit of a catch-22, but we've seen some interesting traction so far. And some of the guys that have been working with me, they're here today. Maybe I'll introduce you to them, and they can share with you some of the pain points or some of the opportunities that they see around this. And I really encourage you to ask them questions and everything. So the first one I want to highlight, it's a Spring ML. This is a new company, and Prabhu is here in the audience. Prabhu, do you want to stand up, say hello? Uh-oh, somebody's lost. So did you make that on purpose? That's a funny way. So Spring ML is leveraging Wave and essentially building this very interesting pharma app that's going to allow you, the pharma sales reps, to be more efficient and to sell more. You can see here a little bit of their work. They're going to be presenting more during Dreamforce. And again, we're starting to see people starting to use our services. And Spring ML is one of the guys that's been really early working with us on this. We're really excited about that. Obviously, we've been working very closely with Apttus as well. They're looking at ways to bring some analytical services within their quote-to-cash modules and bring more intelligence to the whole process. And I'm not going to talk too much. I'll let Elliott comment about this. So I'll shut up now. Another example is a company from Europe, WISDI. They are a data discovery company. So they look at Wave as a data source to bring data to their Android app. And they do that using natural language processing. So you can talk to their app, they query Wave, and do a dynamic binding on the fly with that data. So it's really interesting, really exciting. Another example that we have here, another partner is Velocity. They're looking at Wave as a way to look at the data from the call center and tell people how to be more efficient in a call. So again, another interesting app and something that combines the power with Wave with some domain knowledge that they bring to the table. Okay? And the last one is actually a French company. I was just in France and Germany. I arrived yesterday, so I'm a little bit jet lagged. Selfio, this is a company from close to Paris, and they want to create a single point of entry across all the Salesforce APIs, which I think is excellent because it will just make things very easy for developers. So they'll be able to kind of maybe comment on that a little bit afterwards. But let's not stop there. The thing that I think is exciting is this. So we had a chance to, in our floor, so we are on One Market, landmark building, we're on the 6th floor. And we're able to get a room in the middle of our floor that you can come in, you can send me an email in and reserve and say, Alex, I want to come in tomorrow at 1 p.m. and I want to create a Wave app, right? So you have a good idea, you want to do this. So we open the lab, you come up, you sit down in the lab, you start working, right? You call the APIs, you start doing work, and you're really busy. And then something happened, you're stuck. Oh, this dashboard is not working, I'm not getting the data right, or what's going on? Traditional world, you go to Google, you try to ask your friend, you figure this out. This time, you're in the middle of the lab. So you can just kind of stick your face out and go to any of the developers and say, hey, this is broken, help me out. So we try to kind of have this more embedded kind of experience going. As far as I know, Salesforce never done that before. I think it's going to be fun. So if you want to try it out, you can send me an email or come talk with me after this. And we can probably host, 1 or 2 groups a week, I would say, because we want to make sure that you have a good experience and typically allow you to move faster to whatever you're building. We've done that with the partners that are here in the room. I think that worked well for us. We learned a lot, and we want to do that more with you guys as well. So if you have a good idea, if you want to try it out, we want to welcome you to try that. So with that, I'm opening for questions and any comments you want to share.
Are you the Alex who spoke on the main stage last year?
There's Alex Dion, there's the president of the company, that's not me, no.
Okay.
But if you talked about some of our old platform sessions, perhaps it was me.
Okay.
So if you have any API questions, I can probably answer them. Question in the back, yes.
So if we wanted to attend that, would we email you there?
Yeah, you can email this address.
Because it was kind of hard to take a picture.
Sorry, yeah, no, I didn't do that on purpose, you can see it here. Yeah, contact me. Bye. Here.
Go closer. Maybe I'm the only one that.
Yeah, there you go.
interested.
That's fine. So you can come by
Alex,
afterwards.
let me just warn you that you shouldn't give Robin that information.
Hey.
That's okay.
Robin
Elliott
is,
knows me.
Robin is
We're pretty open.
fantastic, and she's a world-class Salesforce admin.
Yeah, when I talk to people at Salesforce to do that, they're very afraid, right? They're going to say, oh my God, we're going to get 200 people here. We have 300,000 customers. It's going to be insane. We cannot do this. The security guys are like, this is going to be insane. Well, it turns out you don't get that many people, right? Because it takes effort, right? I mean, you have to take time to go there and get your badge and spend a day or 2 or a week. So it's a considerable investment. But what we try to do in return is give you all the answers as fast as we can. If you have a roadblock, if you depend on a feature, we'll try to get that in for you as quick as we can. For example, one of the co-founders, early developer, Apttus, Greg is here. Greg, you want to say hello? And he was there with us, and he said, boy, wouldn't it be nice if we could put this on a Visual Force page? What's wrong with you guys, right? And I just walk out and talk to the guys that do that, say, hey, we're stuck over there, you know? And so on the release that we have coming out in July, we're going to have that. So for us, it's great. We learn a lot. But we also recognize it's an investment on your side, right? So we want to make sure that we somehow give you the return that you want from your investment. So, more questions? Okay, one over here.
So the Wave Analytics, is that integrated with both marketing and Service Cloud as well?
Service Cloud, Sales Cloud, and Marketing Cloud. So we can get data from those clouds directly into Wave without any external ETL or anything. Yes. And if you have any external data, you can also upload that to us. So it doesn't have to be only Salesforce data. The marketing guys love when I say that. You know, don't forget to say external data is also good. Yes, sir.
So you mentioned you work with Cloudera and Artenworks. If you have massive big data already in-house, how does it really work? Do you push the data?
Well, Google has those massive amounts of data lakes or oceans or whatever they call it these days, and you can use that to store all your telematic events or whatever you want to store there. And as you process that, maybe at some point you want to bring stuff for analysis into Wave. So they have a connector into Wave. So from there you can send data through to us.
So does it go from backend upload process, or is it?
So we have the APIs in the cloud. They wrote a connector against the API. So you go to their infrastructure and you say send the data over there. So you just make a call to us and send to us.
But is it bidirectional? Can you push the data from Wave to the big data?
I don't think we are doing that just yet, but you know, maybe if you think we should do it. Get your checkbook ready. No, I'm kidding. But you know, usually I think that you know a lot of the large stuff when it comes to us, by the time you analyze it, you're looking at a subset, right? You can export the data, and maybe you can then bring it out there, you know. So, any other questions? Yes, sir.
What, in your opinion, are some of the areas where Wave stands out as compared to the other offerings that are already out there?
So, you know, there's the traditional BI offerings. They have, you know, thousands and thousands of mathematical libraries, statistical analysis kind of thing. That's not where we are, right? We're quite the opposite. We're on this side, trying to give the business user a tool that they can carry around in their pocket to do stuff, right? And so that's one of the main differentiators, right, that I think is kind of unique. I think the other thing is, you know, it's in the cloud. Maybe we have some of the dynamic filtering of the data so that you only get to see what you're allowed to see, right? I think those are some of the initial things, you know. I think that this is a brand new cloud, so we're going to be learning a lot. We're very aggressive doing releases. Typically, Salesforce, we have 3 releases a year. We do 6, so we keep our developers really busy getting the stuff out a lot, you know. I think that as we move forward, you're going to see we're going to have more apps, so people can have more quickly out-of-the-box stuff, you know. And then make it the engine more capable, more powerful as far as the more deeper and deeper kind of data analyst, you know. I was just in Europe a couple of days ago, and I talked to this car company that is over 100 years old, and the CIO said, Alex, we have every single BI tool in the planet, many times over. You know, why do I need this, you know? It's like, well, we're not trying to replace them. Keep them, great investment, you know, they must be working for you. But how many of those tools you have in your pocket right now that you can start querying it and talk to your, you know, your teammates? And not much, right? So let's have that dialogue. What are some of the new things that you can do? You know, we're not trying to replace business objects, Cognos, none of these guys, right? We have something that we think it starts from the business and is working its way back, you know? And that's the kind of dialogue that I think makes people more interested and also more comfortable, because the BI guys in the room is like, whoa, wait a minute, you know, you're giving that to everybody. You don't need to be a scientist anymore. Wait a minute. It's like, no, you need a scientist. Keep the scientist, you know, he's doing a good job. But now open the door for more people to ask questions, you know, to try to use the data to help their business, you know. You already asked a question. Hold on. I'll be back to you. All the way in the back.
More of a business question. I know you want to talk about your product. But
that's okay. I agree with you. The answer is yes.
San Francisco seeming to be such a nexus for search, analytics, big data.
That's like every corner,
Can't
right?
keep track of it.
I know.
First.
Sorry, what is the question? Oh, no, I agree. I think that, we go through waves. It's terrible to use the wave metaphor. But, I moved here in 2007, and that was before the financial crash. And at that time, cloud was starting to pick up speed, and anything the word cloud, people, wow, Now seems like everything is analytics, machine learning, so we kind of go through those, I think that at the end of the day, I have a lot of friends that are in startup, and it's like, make sure you're solving a good problem, because tomorrow or next month, it's going to be a new tagline. But if you have a solid problem you're solving, you should be fine, But I think you're right. I think that that's the phase we are in now, right? If you look at the Andreessen investment reports and things like that, there's a lot of focus on that, a lot of how do we make the data talk for you, or find the insights in the data, or, big data, look all the thing, but what can I do with that, A lot of times when I meet with customers, they're like, okay, I have the infrastructure, I have all the data, what question should I ask? What am I looking for? It's like, well, I don't know. What is your business? You have to know your business. You have to know the questions you want to ask, And I think that it's an interesting transition right now. And I think that Salesforce is trying to find the balance for a place where we can give a lot of value to our customers. But, a lot of the componentry that we got for Wave, we acquired, right? So one of those startups out there that was doing the hot stuff, they had something very nice that we like. So I don't think it's going to go anytime soon, but I think it's definitely, there will be other waves of trends, if you will, Not sure if I'm answering your question, but...
No, that was great, thanks.
Okay. Any questions here? I know he has another question there. He's smiling. Just a sec. Yes.
What, I know you talked about the labs. Are you going to roll that out at Dreamforce? Are you going to do hands-on work there? Are you going to help people learn? Or how are you going to get people engaged?
So we're talking with the Force.com platform guys, and we're trying to figure out, do we go wholesale and enable all the dev orgs to have it? Or we just tell you, hey, if you're on Wave, sign up for a new one. And right now, we're like trying to figure that out. But the idea is we're going to have the labs there. You go there, you get an account, you can start playing with that. But beforehand, if you want to get access now, you can send me a note. I'll give access to you. Any other questions over here? You had another, so let's go back to him. You had another question.
So I came from a traditional enterprise BI and analytics.
Okay. Welcome.
No.
Feel okay.
And early adapters for the cloud as well. So how are you going to compete with a stack of ETL tools, BI tools, and predictive analytics tools that are in the market with just the cloud?
Name a few, such as, like, what is your favorite?
No, it's not about favorite or anything, right? So look at SAS, look at IBM SPSS. You have got a predictive one, you have got an ETL one, you have got BI one.
Sure.
Every one of them offers their own set of things, right? Now, when you are moving in the cloud, this is a good start. You get your 30% of CRM data, but rest of the data is 60 or 70%. If you wanted to do a broader analytics, you need data from multiple places.
Yeah.
So how sophisticated is the ETL to get in and get out the...
So the ETL, I think, is the easy part, because we have all the partners that do ETL in the world working with us, Informatica, MuleSoft, and I wrote APIs that they use to bring data into us, so I know it works, and so I'm not too concerned about that. I think you point out something that's very important, which is, there's a lot of those solutions that are very complete. They've been around for a long time, right? So Alex Dion, which is the lady here, was talking about, he was one of the founders of Business Objects, right, in France. And the thing where we see the gap that we can add value immediately, and we're seeing that, is starting from the business, not from the data scientist, right? And so start from there, and over time, add more features on the back end as needed, right? You mentioned SPSS. This is a tool very close to my heart because my wife is a PhD statistician, and she's very disappointed with IBM because the SPSS, they're changing all the code behind it, and she's like, my programs don't work. What's going on? Anyway, we're not building this to replace SPSS. We're not building this to replace business objects. Maybe one day we'll get there, right? I don't know. But right now, out of the gate, that's not the goal. It's more of something that can complement and allow for people that today don't have the ability to do decisions and view data to do that. You know, it's an ease of use tool on top of our CRM data, service data. You can bring in some business data from Oracle Financials or Google or whatever, you know. Would there be some competition from the other guys coming our way? Yes. Would we, over time, build up some more killer mathematical, analytical, regression, whatever, to do more? Sure, we'll get there, you know. So it's an interesting game. But you're welcome. You should join, look at our tool, play with that. Love your feedback. Any other questions? Am I out of time? Sorry.
You go. Three
I got 3 more hours.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
I'm kidding. So with that, I want to thank you. I really appreciate your time. Oh, one more? 2 more? Sorry. Okay.
So you put up some slides of customer examples that are using
Partners.
Wave.
Partners.
Oh,
They're
partners.
building apps
Right.
on top of Wave, yes.
So they're using Wave.
They are using Wave,
Right.
yeah. Sure.
So they're Salesforce customers.
They're Salesforce partners. So they're building apps with Wave, so they sell that to their customers.
Okay.
Sorry,
So-
that may have been kind of confused.
Well, I guess my question was about customers, so I guess.
I have some customers. I have some customers.
Should I wait?
No. We went through them. We talked
Okay.
about GE,
Yeah.
financial. Yeah, okay.
That's what I was
Yeah,
talking about.
Okay, got it.
So if you think about those customers
Yeah.
and the typical use case, what kind of attach rate compared to the number of, I don't know, CRM users are you seeing? Like, what is a typical firm? How many seats do they buy? Because
Sure.
my understanding, Wave is priced a lot higher than the typical CRM.
Price competitive, right?
Well, right. I mean, the traditional BI tools aren't cheap.
So it's a new cloud, and as far as attach rate and all that, I don't think the guys would allow me to say that. They think that, you know. But because it's on top of Salesforce and it's easy to get the data, there's a natural affinity of that, you know. So, and as we make it easy for people to try it out, we think we're going to get some good traction. We start to get some big names, we have some videos. I thought about showing a video here, but we think the opportunity is really, really good.
Right.
And it could be the next $1 billion cloud for Salesforce if we do our job right.
Right.
So come back again next year, we'll keep you, tell you the latest.
Is it like 1 or 2, or are we thinking of like 10
No,
users?
it's more than 2. It's less than 300,000, you know, give or take.
Yes.
But we're very aggressive on that. We
Yeah.
launched last year. You know, if you join Salesforce, you know exactly the numbers, what they are, because you have access to the CRM system. But I cannot just give you the number today. You know, it's a little bit sensitive. Good question. One more question? Somebody in the back had their hands up? No? Give up? Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Alex, that was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think the question is more interesting than the slides. I like your answers.
While Elliott's getting set up, Apttus has been generous enough to buy some pizzas as we ran out of food, so if anyone's hungry.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.